They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated.
Deep state is real, my friends, and we are learning exactly that it is far, far, far more. The deep state is far more than just protecting the FBI and its little games. It's far more than the CIA and their little games. It's far more than Hillary. And we used to rail on Hillary for committing treason, for selling access to our country, for having an illegal server in her basement, for stealing money for her daughter, Chelsea, $80 million. We used to really think that was the bad stuff. But man, I am continually shocked on a daily basis in a very dangerous and negative way by what's coming out. Now, I was shown a picture of a child on a stick on a barbecue pit, the way they would have a pig roasting. Now, was it AI? Is it fake? I don't know. But I can't put anything past these people because they brag about doing all this stuff. The deep state is in place and it's doing its job. I went and read some of the messages from last night's broadcast, the Monday Night Live, and someone in there said, "Hey, John, give Trump a chance. He's got 3 more years." I go, 3 more years, huh? We had 4 years of Trump the first time. And we thought after that, okay, look, he's saying the right words. He just had bad people around him. The deep state. He just had bad people around him, and he didn't know how Washington worked. Now he does. Not only does he know how Washington works, he knows how Israel works. He knows how England works. He knows how everything works. And what is he doing? Telling us that he doesn't need us anymore, to shut up, to leave it alone, to get over it, to move on. It's not a big deal. Folks, welcome to the Epstein administration, where Israeli extortion and control is perfected using the CIA and Mossad and blackmail and bribery and extortion and threats and all things evil. The control is perfected. They own the Democrats and the Republicans. Someone said Massey takes Jew money, just not AIPAC money. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't. But is Massey asking for all the files to be released? Yes. Then he's on the right side of this. Anyone who is saying release all the files and they're actually pushing for it, not just mumbling the words, they're doing the right thing. Yes, Congressman Burchett also. Yes, Marge Taylor Greene. And someone said in the comments, well, they're evil too. They're just playing a different game. They're all playing games. And then I think that same person tried saying that this is all a big setup and Trump is going to reveal everything. You know, the QAnon type posts, the QAnon sense of just trust the plan. Sit back. Don't worry. Trump's got it all under control. It's 45 million gazillion gajillion D chess. No, you don't play chess with the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands of children while committing fraud and wasting trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, while we are being sold down the river as cattle, as goyim. No, that is not a fucking game you play. That is not a game you take your time with. Trump has had his entire second administration, if he knew who and how the game is played, if he understands Washington and the deep state and the CIA and the FBI and Mossad and MI6, if he knows it all, then he should have taken care of it all. Someone said, well, he's got to pull out of Minneapolis because, you know, you got to play the politics the right way. We're done with that. There's a lot of people that are just now waking up. They're just now opening their eyes, and they're seeing that things are fucked up. They're like, oh yeah, let's let the system work. We are not going to vote our way out of this. They want to hunt children. Sportsmen, patriots, and veterans need to start their own hunting game. Their own hunting game. I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling for lawlessness. I'm not calling for anything negative or harmful or dangerous. I'm just saying that people who know how to handle weapons, it is now time to get serious about going hunting. This is not code for anything. I love to hunt. I used to hunt deer and duck and wabbit. These evil people out here hunt children. They hunt Americans. They hunt us down and they destroy our lives. Have you learned enough? Have you learned enough yet? Are you going to argue against the fact that these people are spitting in our faces? They're laughing at us. In fact, the Epstein administration is in full power. The deep state is the Epstein administration. Now, we all know that the Trump administration, the Biden administration, and the Epstein administration all take their orders from higher ups. I'm not saying Epstein's the top. Oh, no. Right? In fact, if you can recall, please think back. There was this guy. He was either retired or former CIA, and I believe he's dead now. His name was Robert David Steele, and he was in the social media circuit back in the 20-teens. And in 2017, he laid it all out. The elites used children as currency. They used children to control their opposition and their allies through extortion. They used children for food, for sacrifices to Baal and Moloch, literal blood sacrifices. They used children for sex. This is all back when Pizzagate and Epstein became national news. And the social media sensation started with Americans waking up. But social media and big tech, they silenced you. They silenced me. They removed all Pizzagate, all Comet Ping Pong videos. Everything Epstein was removed. And it kind of got forgotten, right? Even after Jizzy Maxwell kind of got forgotten. Well, it's back. Because Trump promised, as a campaign promise, the Epstein files were up there. But they weren't, I don't think, the very top. I think getting the illegals out of this fucking country would have been enough to get Trump elected. But he promised the Epstein files. And so we're holding him to his word. And now the Epstein files and all the fallout is back. And the deep state does not like it. And it's a threat to them, and there's a threat to kill us all if we try and stop them from ruling the world. They're now planning, folks. It's coming out. We talked about it here on the Prepared Mind channel. We've talked about it for weeks, if not years, that these elites have bunkers around the world. Underground bunkers. Well-provisioned and stocked bunkers. They have private security. And they need it for SHTF, for Mad Max. But perhaps they had a fear that this could happen, that they could be caught. In fact, I believe it was President George H.W. Bush, the Daddy Bush, who said if the public knew what we were doing, they would drag us through the streets. Oh, we're finding out exactly what they're doing and what they've been doing. In fact, everything we're learning, folks, every last thing we're learning is 6 years older and more. What have the elites been doing the last 6 years? Did they quit taking adrenochrome? Did they quit terrorizing children and slitting their throats? Did they quit raping children? Did they quit kidnapping them and using them as sex toys and extortion tools? No. There's more than one island, folks. In fact, there's probably around the world 100,000 islands. There's only 250 countries, but there's 100,000 islands. The amount of real estate out there that has no one anywhere near it. The middle of this country, places like Australia, the outback, New Zealand, places in Africa, South America especially was very famous for people trying to run. Hunting is going to be very important. And I've been preparing myself mentally for the discovery of any one of these Epstein people that are in my general area. Are you prepared? Because this is getting fucking nasty, what we're learning. Every day, new revelations. And they're saying, no more, that's it. Pam Bondi says, no more Epstein files. It's not working. Their program is not working. They thought they would release a little and we'd shut up. They thought they would show a couple of names and go, it's just, they're just professional partners. Oh, like Bill Gates. It's just philanthropy. We're just philanthropists. You read what they wrote. You hear in what they think, how they communicate, their thought process, what's important to them, killing us, raping children, running the world. Bill Gates saying, we don't need people anymore. We got robots. I said it as part of my theory and understanding of their mentality. They're saying it because they fucking believe it and have the money and power to make it happen. Learn where they live. Learn what they own and do it now. They're planning on going to their bunkers until this all blows over. That's going to be their plan. In fact, I don't know if you know, but it just came out today that Prime Minister Bibi Benjamin Netanyahu has a critical health condition. He has blood cancer. Leukemia, my friends, is blood cancer, and it is the most curable cancer out there. But he was just diagnosed yesterday. Oh, my goodness. Just in time for him to disappear before the world, all the world, fully awakes to who he is. And many are saying he is a or the false prophet and minister of Satan. And like his minions that he controls, right? They're all going to die. Death comes to us all, but they think they're above it. It's bad, folks. The shit hitting the fan is not going to be just Antifa or just BLM, as I once thought. It's not going to be just the fucking Muslims. It's going to be everyone and everything. It's not going to be just the Democrats and the Republicans fighting each other. It's not going to be just a political purge. It's not just going to be a destruction of the monetary system or our economy or the food supply and energy supply and the water supply. It's going to be everything if these fucking people are allowed to get away with it. Folks, even if we didn't have the Epstein files, they were going to do it to us anyway. They're already inviting in the evil to destroy America and Canada and Europe and Britain, the whole fucking world. Japan is rejecting them, by the way. They just basically told Islam to go fuck itself. No mosques, no halal food. I'm sick of this. Whether it comes from Israel or anywhere around Israel. That's not a language. It's fucking gargling crap. I'm not happy with these fucking people, and these people know who these people are. They know exactly who they are. They know who they are. They need to go the fuck away. These aren't threats. Yeah, that's 12 gauge buckshot. They're not threats. These are tools of self-defense. You need food. You need water. You need shelter. You need the proper clothing. You need the proper medication and first aid. You need the proper self-defense. You need the proper national defense. You need communications. You need power, which means solar power, generator power. You need communications gear, walkie-talkies, Citizens Band CB radios, World Band radios, ham radios, shortwave radio, whatever you can get your hands on, get it prepared. This is going to come to a fucking head. People are just now waking up. I think be like, God, you guys sound militant. You sound harsh. If you've been living with what I know since the 1990s, what I suspected as a child, that government is evil. When I learned civics, folks, civics, 1983, I learned my civics. I learned my fucking lesson. I read my, Federalist Papers. I read the Constitution. I read the Declaration of Independence. I did debates even at that age. And I never had any idea it could be this fucking evil. And we are surrounded by our enemies. We have multiple religious enemies that hate Christians, that hate our culture, our tradition. And I am so proud and happy to see people of all colors, all races in America now putting videos out saying we need to come together as a country. We need to get rid of the evil and get rid of the multicultural horse shit. We need to get rid of foreigners. We need to get rid of these Satanists. And it makes me fucking proud to see that and to hear it coming from everyone, women, men, blacks, whites, boomers now, yes, boomers, and youths in their teens saying this is bullshit. Government is not doing its job. Government's not doing its job. Instead of being a defender of freedom and liberty, the protector of private property and personal rights, it has become the aggressor. Government has become the oppressor of freedom, the oppressor of rights. It has become the defender of evil. And it has put children on the fucking menu. Literally. Literally. Have you noticed that Pam Bondi, that Kash Patel, that Donald Trump, have you noticed that all of Washington, D.C., with the exception of a very few, haven't said a kind word, not a kind word about the children who are victims of Epstein, as if it really is just a hoax. They haven't said a kind word like, it's really terrible that this has happened, but good thing Epstein's dead. They haven't said that. They haven't said, well, Epstein and now Jizzy is in jail, and it's really terrible what happened to the children. Not a single word of fucking sympathy, nor a single promise of fixing anything. Folks, vigilantism is what happens when government fails to do its job. Vigilantism, you know what that means? That means the people fixing their own problems. You see, it goes God, people, Constitution, government. Government is what we created. We created the Constitution to create a government to serve us and to handle this for us. So we didn't have to run around with a fucking gun on our hip all the time unless we wanted. We don't have to have ammunition in magazines, high capacity magazines for our semi-automatic sporting rifles. We used to not have to do this. We used to not to have to keep a full magazine or more around just in case, because government used to do the fucking job for us. Now we have fucking trannies running loose, killing their own families, killing innocent people in public. Yet again, fruitcake goes to a fucking hockey game and kills his family members. But Bondi, Patel, Trump, and you too, Dan Bongina, you lying sack of shit, all of DC, with the exception of a very few, haven't said a single word about these victims. Not a single promise. Vigilantism, folks. It's you. And today, look, I'm not going to say their names, but many massive social media stars that have hundreds of thousands and millions of followers are now releasing videos. Not memes about Epstein, not memes about AOC. Those are still out there, of course. but they're actually putting out videos with their face on it saying, I supported Trump. I petitioned. I rallied. I did everything for Trump. Told everyone to vote for him. And he shit on everyone. I'm done with it. The fucking game is over, folks. Vigilantism is what happens when government fails to do its job. So I'm going to enjoy me. My job is to uphold the law. Me, myself. If and when I discover one of these Satanists are near me, near you, folks, listen. The government doesn't do its job. Hey, the feds, FBI, Department of Justice, Attorney General, bitch Bounty, they all know every one of these crimes. In fact, they know way more than us. They know way more than us. Videos, pictures, children screaming for mercy. All of the written correspondence, they know what's exactly in it and who it is, and they're fucking hiding it. They are Satanists themselves at this point because they're hiding Satanism. They're protecting Satanism. They're protecting the death of children and their good buddies. In fact, who was it? Was it Trump himself who said, well, if I release that, friends of mine are going to get hurt? I think that's pretty much a fucking quote. You cannot excuse this level of evil, and it's still happening. And they're still covering and protecting. State lawmakers, you're responsible. State law enforcement, you're fucking responsible. Sheriffs in every county, in every state around the country, you are responsible for finding these Epstein supporters, these Epstein minions, these Epstein backers, these Epstein buddies, these Epstein friends. Local police, prosecutors, attorneys general, everybody, they're not doing their fucking jobs if they're not out looking for them right now and arresting them. All it takes is a local law enforcement, a local district attorney to go arrest one of them based on what is written in the fucking Epstein files. And that's what Pam is afraid of. That's what all of DC is afraid of, is us little people, the little cops and the little sheriffs doing their fucking job. But everyone's afraid of big bad feds who are a bunch of pieces of shit at this point. I have zero faith in them. And I want the military to step up and do something. The military is now being commanded and ordered around by a bunch of people who want Satanists to be free to eat and kill and rape and fuck and destroy people's lives. That's it. I'm done with these motherfuckers. Every evil I could never imagine is now on display. And every day I'm surprised at more of this coming out. Don't worry, though. If we, the people, were to start arresting these fuckers, guess who's going to be turned loose on us? Well, here's a little story to give you a clue. In the streets of New York City, 5 times a day now, Islamic prayer is now being broadcast with loud fucking speakers in New York City. Not New Dubai, not New Cairo, New York City. Attention, America. My name is John. This is the Prepared Mind channel, and our government has failed at every fucking level. And the books say, folks, oh, the good book, Constitution, Declaration of Independence. The good book says that when government fails, we, the people, can use violence to fix the obvious problems that require violence as the solution. It says that we have a right and a duty to overthrow tyrannical government, failed government. See, tyranny, despotism, failure to uphold the law, violating people's rights are all violations of the trust we placed in government. Voting hasn't worked. Yelling hasn't worked. Hell, we even tried doing nothing, and that didn't work. It is time to take action. That's what the book says. we have a right, a duty, a responsibility to hold them accountable. And they've got people. They've got them here. Antifa, BLM, liberal fuckwads. They're now turning students out of high schools. Literal students they're turning loose with all of the indoctrination from the last 12 fucking years. Kids K through 12 are going out and being violent. They're taking action. And if we start arresting these fucks and having trials, they're going to turn kids loose on us. They're going to turn the Muslims loose on us. They're going to turn BLM loose on us. They already have the LGBTQ pedophiles ready to fire at us. In fact, they've already started. They're just not very good at it. Thankfully. Hell, I mean, there's people that we thought were patriotic. I'm going to give you one name here that shocked me when I learned about it, when they started releasing the Epstein files. Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, he's got a big talk show. He is a huge Epstein partner and sycophant who has been revealed in the Epstein emails, folks. He's not trying to say, oh, the Epstein texts were all about a documentary. And he is swearing, he is vowing, Steve Bannon is, that his film will, quote, destroy the myths of Epstein, who is a notorious predator. Apparently, Steve, the pedophiles, yeah. The Washington, D.C. politicians, the cannibals, the Washington, D.C. bureaucrats, the child rapists, the pedophile lawyers, and the pedophile CEOs, and the pedophile bankers, all forgot that we can read and hack through their redacted emails to see that their circus master of Satanism was your buddy. Oh, yeah, Steve Bannon, he gave up on Christianity. He gave up on being Judeo-Christian. Now he is just pure Zionist Judeo. It is time to release all the files, unredact them, arrest all the criminals, and to the dungeons they go. I mean, these people are that fucking sick. They're so arrogant, they think they're not going to get in trouble. Hillary Clinton was asked about a photo of Bill in a hot tub with Jeffrey Epstein, and of course, another victim, a nameless young lady being taken advantage of by two wealthy or powerful men. Hillary laughed. Of course, Hillary would cackle like a witch. And oh, yeah, witches eat children. Have you seen the picture? I hope you have. I don't have it with me, of Maria Abramovic. She is the spirit cooking witch that came out during Pizzagate, came out during the Comet Ping Pong time. Maria Abramovic. She's done an interview lately. She looks like a fucking transgender Gargamel from the Smurfs cartoon from the 80s. She has jet black hair, pasty white skin, a giant honking nose, just like the witches from all of the Grimm's fairy tales. She's wearing a black dress with black boots, and she's complaining that she can't walk down the street without being harassed. Well, look, bitch, you do artwork with blood. You claim to be a witch. You claimed she was hosting cannibal parties where people ate mock bodies. I don't know if you remember that. They had a big mock cannibal fest in Hollywood where they had people's heads sticking up through the table and they're talking to people and acting all cute. They had fake bodies they were cutting up with knives and eating. They had punch that looked like blood in bowls with body parts floating in it. I don't know if you remember that shit, but I sure do. Yeah. Hillary laughs. That was her spiritual guide, Maria Abramovic, another witch. In fact, Hillary's supposed to belong, allegedly, to a witch's coven. Wouldn't surprise me. But she laughs about her husband with Epstein, a fucking giant pedophile scumbag beyond comprehension, beyond normal human comprehension, in a hot tub with a little girl. And she laughs. Maria Abramovic also was the teacher of, well, Podesta, Skippy Podesta. Skippy is his evil alternate self. But yeah, the spirit cooking witch. You mean child cooking. Spirit cooking. I mean, really, spirit cooking. That's a picture of her. Yep. There she is. Thank you, Mr. Uman. I don't have the picture that I'm thinking of already laid out. I apologize for that, but thank you, Mr. Uman, for putting that one up. You can't find a nice picture of the woman. You just can't. These people are fucking evil. They're evil, and they're coming after us all. In fact, we're not having a whole lot of luck with our own government because people like this clown, and I'm going to tell you his name and tell you what he's doing, tell you what he believes. He is a part of the problem. Republicans, remember? You and me, all of us are supposed to be the good Americans. We're supposed to be the constitutional Americans. We're Republicans. We're supposed to be conservatives. Well, let me tell you about a conservative. His name is Randy Fine. He is a religious and race-baiting fat-ass slob, nicknamed the Hebrew Hammer. He's more like a goy slop hamburger gobbler. He's Israeli first, America never. He is a rhino congressional representative out of the great state of, sad to report this, Florida. But Randy Fine is now starting more fights with Muslims in America with his response to a Muslim activist calling for, well, dogs to be banned. Well, I don't agree with that. That's some stupid Muslim bullshit. This guy at his level, Randy Fine, says, well, if we have to choose between dogs and Muslims, we know who we're going to pick. You see, it's not that what he said is wrong. It's just what he said is intended to piss off and cause race relation problems between Muslims and Christians. That's just it. It's continuing to divide and make us fight each other. I've got huge problems with the Muslims, folks, because there are no moderates. They don't come over here and condemn Islam. Well, actually, I take that back. There are just a very rare few. There's a very rare few of them. And they say, well, I left Islam. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's a few of them. But I could, less than two hands worth in the last 10 years have I heard say what's going on is wrong. Yeah, we're in big trouble, folks. Get prepared. Understand where this is all leading. Understand who the bad guys are. It's everyone in government, unless they come out and they put their balls on the fucking line or their tits and stand up for America and stand up for our culture, our Constitution, our laws. Otherwise, it ain't no good. Now, this is the second half of the show. We're going to go to it. It is time for the inner circle. I want to hear what you guys are thinking and have to say. I want everyone to remember I'm not calling for anyone to do anything illegal. I just want you to learn about the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, what government is supposed to do, and what we're supposed to do when government fails. All right, Mr. Uman, I hope we got some good stuff out there. It is that time of the show, the inner circle. And Uman says, speaking of predators, you got a picture of Whoopi Goldberg again? Oh, today in Black History Month, the king of race grifters, the disgusting Jesse Jackson, gave up his addiction to air. That's right. The other day we learned that Robert Duvall passed away, and now Jesse Jackson has passed away. Massive race grifter. I can only think of, well, you know what? As king of the race grifters, I really think that Jesse Jackson does have some stiff competition, but they're not stiff yet. In other words, they're not dead yet. Obama himself, as well as Al Sharpton, other terrific race grifters who have made a career, millions of dollars living off of pitting blacks against whites, pitting blacks against America, pitting blacks against history, lying to their own people. Wow. Yep. Well, Jesse Jackson. And Jesse Jackson's been around since the days of Martin Luther King Jr., folks. You bet. All the way back to the 60s. And he just never really lived up to anything other than being basically a grifter. That's Uman's opinion, and it's kind of hard to argue against that. I mean, he did some good things a couple of times. I remember he went on Saturday Night Live, and did he read Green Eggs and Ham? I think it was Green Eggs and Ham. That was probably the most America uniting moment he ever had. Any event, thank you, Mr. Uman. Let us continue, shall we? And we're going to go with Mr. Diving Frog. And he says, John, do these people really think they're going to be safe in their bunkers? Aren't we the ones who built that shit? We wouldn't know how to compromise the facility? Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Diving Frog. They think they would be safe in their bunkers. Of course they think that. They have food and water, entertainment, electricity, medication, everything that you and I would want if we had a bunker like their bunkers. They're probably going to have armed security living on top, of course, to protect them. But let me ask you this. If there was, say, a security force of a dozen badasses, you know, I mean, let's just say Zuckerberg hired a dozen Navy SEALs to protect him, a dozen Force Recon, a dozen Green Berets. Do you think those people, in order to protect him, would have to be politically aligned with him? Don't you think? I would say that if they weren't politically aligned with Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Alex Soros, that they wouldn't take that job seriously. At some point, they'd be like, you know what? Fuck this fucking clown. The world's falling apart, and I'm going to stand here with a gun as a target between the whole world and this slimy, satanic, child-eating, child-raping fucker. Okay, point one. Point two, well, what if they were politically aligned with him and they thought, hey, that's just fine. I think that's great. Well, okay, so you got a dozen badass, fully trained military personnel, fully equipped with full auto weapons, possibly explosives, certainly improvised explosive devices, IEDs. You don't think that we, the people, couldn't walk up with a white flag of truce, flag of parley, and say, you're protecting those guys in there. Why? Because they pay you money that's now worthless in this world? Oh, they've given you gold? Well, we're going to give you a chance to walk. And if the answer is no, then okay, the parlay ends. Okay, and you turn around and you walk away. You don't threaten them because they might just fucking shoot you for threatening them. You just say, we'd like you to surrender your position and leave. We don't want you guys. We want the guys behind the fence. If they say no, okay, well, I guess we're done talking. Right? They can be picked off. They can be taken out. Sportsmen, veterans, and certainly there are veteran snipers who don't like Satanists and those that protect Satanists. You can't hold out forever. The same way I in my bunker could not hold out forever. Now let's just say 6 of them leave, the other 6 get killed. All the guards are now gone on Mark Zuckerberg's Maui underground bunker complex. What does he need in there? He needs air. He probably has tanks of water underground, but you might search the hill search the volcano for a stream that feeds it. They might have solar power. You might destroy it. If they've got air vents, you would be able to find it and probably introduce noxious chemicals to fuck with them. You could also weld the doors shut from the outside or cover the doors in rocks and they can't get out. A lot of things could happen to people in bunkers. A lot of people are very knowledgeable. We would know how to compromise the facility. We would know how to compromise the people guarding them. But they really think they can hide. Now, New Zealand's a great place. If I was going to be one of these fuckers, I'd have a bunker in New Zealand because New Zealand doesn't have guns. The people in New Zealand, no guns. Very rare to find guns. So I'm sure the very elite have their own security guards with guns. Good ones, just like they would in Hawaii or North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Colorado, New Mexico. But yeah, they could last longer, or at least have their protection in place longer in New Zealand. It's harder for us to get down there and administer justice, but that's probably where they're going. In fact, during COVID, many of the elites just happened to be in New Zealand and Australia. Interesting, huh? I think Tom Hanks was one of them. In any event, Mr. Diving Frog, you're only safe a little bit. None of us are fully safe. Whether you're a real fucking badass in the Army or Marines or not. It doesn't matter. All of us, no one has a guarantee you're getting through this. All you can do is be prepared and do the best you can do. Okay, thank you, Mr. Diving Frog. Mr. Uman, let us move on if we shall. Great topic. These elites want to hide. Chin Music here is, he says, appropriate that Jazzy Jackson buys the farm in February since he is now part of Black history. I tell you, folks, there's going to have to be a new world. After the New World Order fails, there's going to have to be a New World Order, a New World Law and Order. This little book right here, and I've got a lot of them. This little book right here, the foundation for freedom and liberty for everyone around the world. Religious liberty, political liberty, personal liberty, rights, all of it. You know what other book helps with that? Not the Quran, not the Talmud. All righty. Anyways, thank you, Chin Music, for that one. Good stuff there. Yeah, you know, we got a meme from Chin Music. Okay, let's meme it up. Let's get me in bigger trouble here with people. Uman is going to load us a nice meme, folks. Epstein hosted the top spy from which country? Israel. Ghislaine's dad worked for who? Israel. Which country do most of the names in the files line back to? Israel. So who did it? Russia. Yeah, a couple of days ago, they tried blaming Russia, tried saying Epstein is a Russian spy. Epstein's a Russian asset. Epstein was using, Russia was using Epstein to control Trump. They actually tried playing that. There is no way you can look at any of this and not see Israel and Mossad working hand in fist, hand in glove, hand in hand with the CIA to control our government and create a deep state, a government within a government that controls our government, all while letting you and I live our lives under the fucking illusion that we're free and that we vote for people who will serve us as government people. as government employees. Well, a member of the R Syndicate is now handling some local political crap in Ohio. And even at the state and local level, guess what he has discovered? Guess who he has discovered controls? Where is it? Holy cow. Guess who he has discovered controls even local politicians and sponsors local politicians and make sure good, real Americans cannot even get onto a voting ballot? Yeah, Israel. AIPAC. Big money. Millionaires and billionaires fund. Guess who? They fund everyone they can as long as they will do what Israel wants. Something interesting came up today, and it restored my faith in a particular investing mogul who I have listened to for years with respect to gold and silver. His name is Rick Rule, and he said that he and his wife have maxed out their political contributions to Congressman Massey and has asked others to do the same. I have noticed that people who typically talk about gold and silver in their podcasts, in their social media, in their X accounts, I mean, they've got gold or silver or precious metals, whatever the title of their company is, and their shtick are talking about releasing the files and the evil in Israel and the evil in Washington, D.C., and the lawlessness in the United States government. Now, typically, they point to the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, or the CFIC, right? Or these government institutions as being shit and corrupt and for sale. But they're looking and seeing bigger, folks. I think I pointed out for a couple of years now that a lot of these financial advisors, these financial planners, are becoming financial preppers and prepper advisors, talking about, you better get your shit together. Get your fucking money out of the system. That was Bill Holter the other day. He says, get as much of your money out of the system. At least, try and get 10, 20% of your money and get it in front of you in your own hands. Because they're that worried about these mass murdering, lying sacks of satanic shit that are in charge and that they're not happy. They're trying to start World War III right now. Is it 1/3, Uman, or 2/3? Is it 1 or 2/3 of the U.S. Navy is now within range of the military attack in 1/3 in Iran? Thank you, Mr. Uman. 1/3 of our Navy, Blue Water Navy, the thing that the world is supposed to believe, the U.S. Navy helps keep free trade open and the oil flows to support our standard of living worldwide. And that Navy is now sitting there like sitting fucking ducks outside of Iran. And Iran today decided to close the Strait of Hormuz so they could do some, military drills. Iran doesn't have the authority to shut down an international body of water. The same way the United States shouldn't have the authority to shut down trade to any one country. Well, I mean, you can trade with them, then you'll be put on the list, right? But that's part of the game. That's part of the shtick. That's part of the old world economic energy system. And it's now being challenged. The thing that scares me most is Israel could attack our Navy, blame Iran, and start World War III. Are you awake yet? Are you awake yet? Israel's done it before, trying to draw the United States into a war that Israel wants by bombing, attacking, strafing, and killing American Navy personnel and Navy ships. The attack was called the USS Liberty, and it was attacked, I believe, in 1965, or was it? Fuck, I can't remember now. Damn it. Too many numbers in my head. They attacked it. They killed Americans, and then they fucking lied about it. The U.S. government, even back then, covered it up. Covered it up. Hid it from the world. When was it wasn't under the Eisenhower administration. It wouldn't have been under JFK, so it had to be under BJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. LBJ had to be the president that was in charge during the USS Liberty attack, because Israel wanted the United States to join them in a war against Egypt. That's all these fucking people ever do, is call for war. And in fact, that jackass, light in the loafer Lindsey Graham, is over in Israel yet again. I think he's there every 2 weeks, literally. In fact, he's made a comment. I'm going to be here in Israel every 2 weeks, whether I'm needed or not. He is swearing up and down that American sons and daughters in the military are going to kill themselves to support Israel. Why does this guy love war so much? Why? We're not safe abroad, folks. We're not safe at home because of the people that are in charge in Washington, D.C. right now that want us dead, that don't need us anymore. Right, Bill Gates? They couldn't care less about us. Right, Soros boys? Right? They need to be called out. They need to be exposed. They need to be made uncomfortable to show their faces in public. And I'm not going to say it, but someone is going to turn vigilante, shall we say, judge and executioner. I mean, these people admit it. They have admitted what they're doing. Yet there's no arrests in America. Yet there's no prosecutions in America. There's no sentencing in America. There's no death penalty in America for these people. And it's not just the children, folks. It's all of us. Are you awake yet? I just asked that a minute ago. Are you awake yet? Mr. Uman, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? Robin G says, where have all the cowboys gone? Oh, they're out there. She said, but I heard a rumor that the CW will start in Texas. Civil War. They've had enough. The Texans are waking up and learning, holy fuck, our own government is selling our state to Muslims? To the Muslim Brotherhood? They're creating sanctuary, lawless, Sharia law sectors and neighborhoods and governance. Texans are sending their money over to Israel just like Florida is. Yeah, Texans are pissed. I hope they're fucking pissed. They should be. I am fucking outrageously pissed off at these people. We've all had enough. But are we willing to do anything about it? Are you awake yet, I ask you? Well, people are waking up everywhere. They're not liking what they're fucking seeing. Because it's not just a bad dream. You don't like wake up and go, oh yeah, oh shit, shoot. Man, for a second there, I thought our country was doomed. No, our fucking country's doomed. Are you awake yet, folks? In North Carolina, illegal aliens broke into a North Carolinian's home. A man's home. They tied him up. They beat him up. And then they raped his hairy ass. That's right, folks. These fucking foreigners, these illegals, they're going to rape goats, they'll rape girls, and they'll rape grown men. None of us are safe. Nobody is safe. And who invited them in? The U.S. government. And who do we now know controls the U.S. government? AIPAC, Mossad, Israel, the CIA, the FBI, the Attorney General, the Department of fucking Justice. Nobody is safe. Hey, Trump said he was going to deport them all. I say we keep demanding from Trump that they be deported, not given amnesty so they can rape all their lives and claim to be Americans and then steal the not only the wealth, but the dignity and decency from everyone. That's what they want to steal. That's what these people do. That's what Satanists do. People that serve an evil God. That's what they do. They rob, they rape, they steal, they take, they conquer, they murder. They commit every crime that we think of as crime. And they do it gleefully. And then they say, our God is happy with us. I've never seen old fucking Netanyahu more upset than when I saw him talking about Iran burning a statue of Moloch, Baal, right? The god that they worship, apparently, allegedly, supposedly. It's unfucking believable, folks. It really is. And by the way, does everyone realize that the transgender fuckhead man that shot up people at a Rhode Island hockey game, he actually replied to Alex Jones about trans people going, quote, fucking berserk. The Pawtucket shooter, huh? That's kind of like Nantucket, Pawtucket. Are you prepared? Mr. Uman, let's see if we got something else out there. And we do. Uman says there was a big church explosion in Boonville, New York today. That's right. A church didn't just catch on fire. It fucking exploded. Uman says, last I saw, many are injured and one FF in critical condition. They were quick to say, no confirmed criminal activity. Doesn't that require an investigation from a fire marshal? A fire marshal whose expertise is arson, bombing. Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Isn't it funny how law enforcement runs out to say, wasn't terrorism, wasn't it as an Islamic person? Oh, another giant, beautiful church in England burned to the fucking ground the other day. Yeah, I'm sure it was Christians that burned their own church. I'm sure it was a fucking accident. No one even smokes inside anymore. So you can't like fall asleep in your bed and burn your house down. All right, we had flame resistant sheets and mattresses and cushions and pillows. Everything's fucking flame resistant now. But somehow churches made out of stone still seem to burn to the ground or blow up. Things that go boom. Natural gas and propane. Unless that church had a natural gas and propane furnace. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess churches do have kitchens, so hey, it's perfectly acceptable for churches to blow up around the country. I'm going to end the show with this. I got just a couple minutes left. Thank you, Mr. Uman. I want to talk about false flags. The closer we get to these people thinking they're not going to run the world, that we're not going to allow it, the closer we get to victory, the closer we get to exposing them, the more likely all of us are going to face a false flag attack. That is not going to be just one item. It is going to be multiple things. In America here, they can shut off the electricity, phone communication, internet, banking, fuel, food, and water. They're already trying to blot out the sun. That's right. Bill Gates, that pile of shit, is trying to put more chemicals in the air, killing us all. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll kill himself. As long as he's killing everyone else, they're happy. That's just an attack to make our lives miserable. But they can bomb us. They can gas us. They can bioweapon us. Hell, they're trying to create bugs and insects that will bite you and make you sick. Absolutely sick. And I'm wondering, folks, if that was what I was sick with over the weekend. Because I ate a nice, juicy piece of steak. And hours later, I was jacked up. Jacked up like you can't believe. Did they get me with the bio agent that causes my body to say no beef for you? They can do a bio attack. They can do more medical attacks. You should read the Epstein files on COVID and the fucking Jim Jones juice and how that's a great thing and how they were planning it and how it was all set up and what do they need to do to make it happen. These aren't our friends. These are beyond enemy. These are people so evil, they're willing to destroy the entire human fucking race if they can't own and control everything. I started out saying you need to get prepared. We could have an accident. You need to be prepared. There's some bad people here and there. You need to be prepared. We can't really trust our government at all levels. Turns out, take what I said in 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, multiply it by 100. That's how bad it can get. That's how bad and how evil the bad guys are. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Are you prepared for what is going to come next?